What do you know about assumption of risk and how it relates to your favorite theme park? Assumption of risk stands in the way of individuals trying to successfully sue theme parks in the United States. Most importantly, you are acknowledging those risks by purchasing a ticket and clicking yes to a waiver. This is called expressed assumption of risk. Implied assumption of risk is a little different. When someone decides to ride a high-speed roller coaster, dizziness, nausea, and moderate jerkiness should be expected from the experience. How would you feel about showing up in Disney promotional materials? You give your permission for that to happen just by visiting their resorts. You don't even have to enter the ticketed parks. While you're in their resorts, the Disney company can film, photograph, reproduce your image or voice, and use them for any purpose. They aren't even required to pay you for it. In fact, they are letting you know ahead of time before you even enter their resorts. They list it as one of their rights in the company rights section of their website. Disney World can legally kick you out even if you paid hundreds of dollars. Here's why. When you buy a Disney ticket, you're not buying the right to stay. Why? Because Disney World is private property, even though it's open to the public. If Disney revokes your permission and you don't leave, you're legally trespassing. They don't need to prove you committed a crime, only that you broke park rules or posed a threat. That's why Disney security has real authority. The only thing they can't do is kick you out for protected traits like race or disability. Behavior isn't protected, and courts back Disney most of the time. Follow for more theme park law. What do you think about theme park face scans? Biometrics or face scanning is becoming more mainstream for entering theme parks around the world. In April of this year, Disneyland launched facial scanning technology at their main entrance to verify tickets and prevent fraud. Every time a person enters the park with their ticket or pass, a scan is taken of their face to confirm that the pass is being used by the correct person. Disney is now being sued over the use of this technology on park guests, with the court filing stating that guests should be able to expressly opt in or out of sensitive facial recognition technology with written consent. What do you think? Disney Cruise Line bans some pretty surprising things. One of them they actually sell in the parks. Here are 3 items you can't bring on a Disney cruise. 1. Musical instruments. Leave your guitar at home. Disney cruises are packed with talented performers. You'll have to get a contract on board if you want to jam. If you want to save $20 at Castaway Cay by bringing your own floaty, that's not going to fly on Disney Cruise. Pool noodles and inflatable floaties are banned because the pools are small and can obstruct lifeguards from doing their jobs. 3 is the $100 item Disney sells in the parks but is banned on Cruise Line. The Star Wars droids you can build in Galaxy's Edge. If you make your droid before your cruise, you'll have to get a claim slip and have it stored for you at the terminal. Have you accidentally brought a banned item on a cruise? Let me know in the comments. When visiting the parks, do you ever notice the signage warning you of any variety of things? From wet floors to a change of elevation on the sidewalks. This is because when you are visiting the parks, you are an invitee, that the park operator owes a duty of care to keep the park safe. In the case that someone does get injured, that does not automatically mean that the park operator was negligent. A park goer has a duty as well to take care of their own safety, to look around and see whether the ground is wet, so they better be careful not to fall. The park operator might argue that they don't need to warn of an open, obvious, and present danger. In anticipating lawsuits, the big parks go over the top in offering warnings of potential danger to guests. Next time you're in a theme park, count how many warning signs you encounter. If someone does sue the park, the operator can point to the signs that the guests should have known better. Have you had items stolen from your stateroom door? There is one caveat on the Disney Cruise Line website that allows Disney to turn a blind eye to these thefts. As magnets, pins, and gifts are being stolen, more and more people are going to guest services expecting Disney Cruise Line to do something. However, Disney Cruise Line states on their website Q&A that items of value should not be used to decorate your door, as Disney Cruise Line is not responsible for damage to or loss of these items. Hence why nothing is done when thefts are reported. This caveat gets Disney off the hook for thefts on their ships. What do you think? Did you know people have been operating businesses on Disney resort property? Unauthorized businesses on Disney property have always existed. But when Disney World reopened in July 2020, there was a boom in furloughed cast members and locals offering services to attendees in the resort. Services ranged from photos, baking, room decorating, flower arrangements, and makeovers. What Disney had previously turned a blind eye to became undeniable, and in January 2026, cease and desist letters were sent out. On the Disney website under prohibited activities, the first activity prohibited is the sales of goods or services or the display of goods or services. Some of the services offered were filling a gap in the resort's official offerings. What do you think? Disney has begun restricting resort bus access on major holidays at Disney Springs to those that have an active Disney resort reservation. Even with these new bus restrictions making it trickier, here's why resort hopping is still a must-do on your trip. Number 1, food. Each resort has its own unique take on dining. Beignets at French Quarter and Trader Sam's at the Polynesian are popular options. Number 2, decor. Over Easter and Christmas, different resorts decorate in unique ways. The chocolate Easter eggs are an amazing way to see culinary talent at the Grand Floridian. Number 3, no park ticket. If your pass has blackout days or you're arriving late on a flight, resort hopping is a great way to experience the Disney magic without a park ticket. You can pin trade, do crafts, shop, and eat. What do you think about the resort bus ban from Disney Springs? Leave your comments below. If someone gets hurt on your ride, here's exactly how you defend your theme park in court. Imagine a guest breaks their arm in battle at the ministry. If they sue, the park will claim primary assumption of risk. Some activities are just more dangerous than others, and without the shakiness, it wouldn't be battle at the ministry. The lawyer representing the guests would argue that something was wrong with the ride, there was a neglect of some sort that caused the guests injuries. This is secondary assumption of risk. The guests knew there was risk involved in riding, didn't realize how significant that risk was until they were on the ride. Have you ever been hurt on a ride? Let me know below and follow for more. Can you name the 2 animals permitted to be service animals at Walt Disney World? Of course, dogs are number 1, but more interesting is number 2. It's the miniature horse. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, miniature horses are recognized as the only acceptable alternative to service dogs. Meaning by law, Disney has to accept miniature horse service animals into the park. What do you think the chances of getting injured at a theme park are? Take a guess and write your answer below in the comments. Ready? It's approximately 1 in 17 million at a fixed site amusement park. However, it could be much more because traveling carnivals are not included and reporting requirements vary state to state. When can someone be denied access to a ride based on their disability? This became a question at the forefront of people's minds after the tragic death of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, a wheelchair user on Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. The ADA states a person with a disability cannot be prevented from riding unless it is necessary for their safety. In 2023, a man sued Universal after being denied boarding of the Aqua Coaster Krakatoa because he did not have 2 natural grasping hands. The judge determined that excluding guests with missing limbs was not founded. Have you ever been denied boarding a ride? Let me know in the comments below. When designers and manufacturers come up with a new ride concept, who decides what's safe? If someone gets seriously injured, these teams need to be able to show a court or insurance company that an industry standard was followed. In theme parks, this organization is ASTM International. They set the bar for how an amusement park ride is designed, operated, inspected, and maintained. The standards are considered agreed upon among manufacturers, engineers, inspectors, park operators, and even lawyers. Times are changing at Walt Disney World. Last week it was announced that buses and the boat from Disney Springs to resorts would only be available to resort guests, raising questions of whether this rule will be expanded for the Skyliner and Resort Monorail. Disney announced on June 24th that the Gingerbread House at the Grand Floridian will be permanently retired, presumably to cut back on non-hotel guests going to the Grand Floridian to view the house. Many on the Disney subreddit blame influencers for exposing hacks that overload resorts with non-guests using amenities. What do you think? Say you took a different path in life and decide to shoplift from World of Disney. You pocket the bag charm, walk past the point of sale, and you think you've gotten away with it. But as you move through Disney Springs, security tracks you down. How did they do it? Disney security has a number of tools to track guests through the resort. Disney uses AI video analytics to search footage from their many cameras. They can identify a person causing a disturbance and locate them as they move through the resort. Magic bands aren't just for your convenience. They contain RFID technology that shows you open a hotel room door, but also when you pass through specific points in the park. It is hard to miss Disney's uniform security, but there are many plainclothes officers around the park as well. There are also many backstage areas that allow security to shortcut through the park and pop up where they're needed. You're on a Disney cruise ready to start your vacation. You've decorated your door, eaten lunch, and you're ready to relax. Then you hear the announcement to attend your muster drill location. Muster drills are actually mandatory under the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea. These regulations were put in after the sinking of the Titanic and have been updated ever since. By law, before the ship can leave port, Disney has to make sure everyone knows where to go and what to do if there is an emergency. If too many people don't report to their muster drill location, there can be a delay in the ship's departure. This is a legal requirement followed by all cruise lines around the world. What's your opinion? Should muster drills be kept exactly as they are, or do you think there's a better way? Let me know in the comments. This past week, a 13-year-old boy fell down the big drop of Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland. This incident begs the question of how often rider behavior is what causes injury at theme parks. It's hard to know for sure because there is no single authority on injury statistics. However, in North America at fixed site parks, investigations have consistently found that most injuries are linked to rider behavior, medical factors, or failure to follow ride instructions, while true mechanical failures account for only a small percentage of incidents. What do you think about the incident at Disneyland? In 2024, drone shows were growing in popularity, from Disney Springs to your local town, often as a replacement to the traditional fireworks show. At the end of 2024, that all changed. During a Christmas drone show in downtown Orlando, a 7-year-old boy was hit in the stomach by a falling drone and required emergency surgery. This was despite the fact that the show was supposed to be taking place over Lake Eola. This incident resulted in the parent of the boy suing the city of Orlando and the drone manufacturer. According to the investigators, this malfunction was caused by several of the drones not receiving data and then crashing into one another when they did not launch uniformly. Despite this incident, it is uncommon for drones to fall from the sky at professionally operated events. What do you think of drone shows? Follow for more theme park law.